Did you ever feel like you had any moments of like, I mean, obviously we're thinking a lot about like what you have to do every day to survive or to not be sick. Did you ever have any moments of like clarity, like what am I doing with my life? Or were you just so
I would have those.
lasered in?
I would have those, and they would just make me real upset. You know, I would just get emotional, and just because I would know that I'm ruining my life. Like my life is awful, and I'm at all to blame for it. It's entirely me. Like, and I just couldn't see a way out of it for a long time. And then eventually, I had met my now wife, and we had met. She knew what was going on and everything, and really tried to get me to stop. I mean, was really helpful, and just, look, you're gonna stay here. You're not going anywhere for the next 2 weeks. You're gonna detox, and then, you know what I mean. You're just going. I'm gonna lock you down, basically. And she did this, and I got clean this way, but still that desire was still there, that urge was still there. So every chance I got, I would still run off and get high when she was at work or whatever. I would still go get high, but I was unable to use every single day. But I knew this was my way out. It's a weird sense of it, like this, you know what I mean? It was just like, this can help me, because this is the furthest I've been able to get. You know what I mean? Just doing it once in a while, because I'm in a situation where I'm pretty much on lockdown. You know, I don't have a car at this time. I don't have anything. So, and then eventually she had enough hope in me, and you know, she shouldn't have. There was many times when I did the wrong thing, you know, and blew it, but for some reason she kept believing in me that I could pull through in this thing. And then let's see here, and then basically we get married. Which probably on her end was not a good idea, you know what I mean? Because here's this dude, rough off, you know, don't got much to bring to the table. She just saw who I really was inside, I guess. And shortly after had a kid, and that, I would say, was the biggest change for me. Once I had a child, my life no longer was about me living, it was about my child. And even at first, it wasn't just a magic day where, okay, now I'm cured of this addiction. Of course not. It's not how it worked. But it was a big inspiration for me to stay clean, you know? And so, but I did struggle at first. I definitely struggled, went back to rehab a couple times. And then, but just had this love for him that was so strong. I don't know, eventually, after getting out of rehab, being away from him for so long, it just started something in me that I didn't know I had. It was just like, all right, I'm finally done with this stuff. Like, it's over. It's got to be over, because I'm not going to let my child be raised and not be able to be there, basically. And so during this time, I got was able to get a really good job. I'm not going to say where, but it was a very good job, but it demanded a lot of my time, pretty much all of my time. And at the time, you know, I didn't know if I could do it, just because I'm not in good shape physically. I'm not mentally in a good place, you know what I mean? I'm just making it by the seat of my pants. But I come to find out that that was probably the best thing for me, because I would work from 8 in the morning to 9 at night. And so it was almost, I didn't have any time to mess up. And then I'd spend the rest of the time with my son. And so that was really good for me. So that and my wife really is a lot to contribute to me being sober. And it's been a couple years now. And yeah, it just, I don't know. I didn't do it. I did not do it the way that most people do it. NA and AA, and I tried, and I'm not saying those programs are bad. There's a lot of people that keep sober. They're great programs, but in my case, I think every single person is its own case. And what may work for some people isn't going to work for other people. And you just got to find out what it's going to take. You know what I mean? Every person in particular, what's it going to take to be able to beat this thing? And I still haven't beat it. I'm not over it, but I'm a lot better place. You know, I haven't used in a couple years now. I'm in a very good place compared to where I've been.
Yeah.
You know?
In like through rehabs and like programs and whatever else, was there any like wise sayings or anybody like speak anything into your life that you've always held on to, or maybe turned on a light bulb in your head? Or do you think you were just...
I mean, yeah, you learn a lot of things from rehabs. Mostly the older senior guys walking around and they're telling you, you know, you do not want to be me when you're older. You know what I mean? Like, get it right, dude. Do not do this for your life. But they knew, you know, it's just so common nowadays. I don't know one person through my whole addiction that got it right the first time, or the second time, or the third time. I mean, it's a struggle. It's a struggle. But yeah, through the years, there was many things I had heard, and it's good stuff, you know what I mean? And like I said, the NA book has a lot of good knowledge in there to help you stay clean and sober. But for me, it was the love of my wife, the love of my child, and most of all, God. God was there. Like, when I started to come out of this darkness, it was like He had the plan for me all along. He kept me alive for some reason. There was many times I probably shouldn't have made it out, you know, came back, but I did. And I know that God was definitely there the whole time, and sort of helped me get out of this, did get me out of what I was living, you know what I mean?
For anybody like dabbling, like what advice would you have for, I guess just anybody in general, but also specifically for people dabbling in drugs or maybe in strong addiction?
Well, nowadays, I don't think dabbling in drugs is very dangerous nowadays with the fentanyl epidemic. And I know a couple people, you know, through family members and close friends that have died due to fentanyl, and they weren't even addicts. These were just people that were recreationally used on the weekends, and now they're dead because of fentanyl. And so dabbling is not, you can't do it anymore like you could even just 20 years ago. You just can't do it. You will die. You will die. And for the people that are out there struggling, you just have to keep trying. It's all you just got to keep trying. You know, if you're not getting it right, try again. Try again. It's all you can do. I mean, you'll eventually get out if you keep trying.
What do you think the best thing for family members of addicts, what do you think the best thing is for them to do or to treat their loved one who's addicted?
It's very hard because addicts are master manipulators, and so they can pretty much convince anybody of whatever they want. But for the family, about the best thing you can do, and I think as far as everyone I think knows this, but as a family member, about the best thing you can do is cut them out. Do not enable them. Do not give them a ride anywhere. Do not give them money. Do not give them shelter, because I do think that you have to hit rock bottom before you get out of it. I think the first couple stints of rehab, I was not even close to being at rock bottom. I was trying to please my family, but I was not done getting high. And, you know, but yeah, you just have to, and it's hard, obviously, it's your family. It's the last thing you want to do is tell somebody they can't sleep at your house, you know, and they don't know where to sleep. But, you know, best thing you can do is try to provide them services to get help. Go to detox, go to rehab, you know.
So giving them money probably isn't.
No, that's not going to work. No, it's not going to work. Giving them money is the worst thing you can do. Getting them help, rehab, detox, you know. But yeah.
And I guess a deeper one, which is the $1 million question: why do you think people get addicted? You know, the chemical addiction aside, why do you think, like, you know, a lot of people say there has to be a traumatic, you know, something traumatic in their life to make them go down this road. But you're saying that's not true because that wasn't for you.
Right. I think in a lot of cases there are traumatic things that happen to people, and that sort of, and then they use, and that sort of kills their pain. It takes their mind away from it. It just, opiates are a pain reliever, for your physical and your mental and everything. And so it's not even just opiates, it's all drugs. All drugs do is just numb you, in my opinion. They just numb you to reality. Now you're not living in reality more, you know what I mean? And so, what was the question?
Like why do people get addicted to things? And some people think there has to be something traumatic in their past.
Right. Yeah. I mean, I didn't find the case with me. That wasn't the case. I think a lot of people just, they recreationally try these experiences, and they like them, and they continue to do them. Or maybe them, they're being high, they're being numb is a better experience than their life they're having at home, and that escape that they're trying to get to, just leads them down the path of addiction. So at the beginning, it's very hard to see it. Nobody thinks they're going to end up, with a needle in their arm. Nobody thinks that the first time they use anything. But that's ultimately where it goes over time. But that's the $1,000,000 question, though. Why do addicts become addicts? You know what I mean? Nobody knows. It's sort of crazy, and it doesn't stereotype. It can be. I met very successful business owners that became addicts and lost everything they've had. You know what I mean? Down to, your homeless people that are struggling with mental illness. It's everyone can become an addict.
How do you think, like, your past with your past struggles, how do you think it affects you in your life today? Do you think differently, or do you have like a big emphasis on how you're going to raise your kid?
Absolutely. I definitely think I'm just like an entirely different person than I used to think. It's pretty wild. From now, I consider myself, I guess, being on the outside of that right now. But like looking in, looking at my past behaviors, I don't even understand it. It was like, I don't understand why I was doing that. Why did I keep going back to that? I don't know what it was. Yeah, it's mind-blowing, really. While the one thing that's killing you, you keep running to it as soon as you have any opportunity. Sorry. Dang. Mama. Shoot, what was I saying? Hold on.
It's looking back, it's like crazy.
Oh yeah, it's crazy. It's unbelievable that my decisions that I was making were just, I don't understand why I was making them. I was under a chemical imbalance, I would say. My mind was not functioning like it should, even anywhere close to it. And it took me being off those substances for a while to see that, to really come out of it. And that's a very emotional time for people when they come out of it. And most people go right back into it because it scares the hell out of them. Feeling stuff, feeling things, emotions, all that, because you're numb to the world, you're numb to all that. You don't really have a conscience until you get out of it for a while. But I pray to God that I'll never go back anywhere down that road, and I don't think I will. Of course, you can't say that for certain. Nobody can say that. And but I would never substitute the life I have now to go back into that world, which is absolute hell and turmoil and just awful. Nobody wants to go through that. I would not want my worst enemy to go through that lifestyle. And so I don't ever consider, tampering with anything anymore. It's just not worth it. It's just not worth it. And I would say that to everybody. It's just not worth it to experiment with anything out there nowadays. You will end up somewhere you don't want to be. Yeah.
Well, thank God you're not there anymore.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, it was a rough road, but it got me to where I'm, at now. So I don't know if I had to go through that to get where I'm in. I don't know.
Maybe would have chose a different path.
Right. Some people say that, oh, you got to go through this to get to that, and I don't know if that's necessarily true. I just think some people, I don't know. So I don't know why we go down why we choose the rough path, knowing that's going to be a rough path, but we still do those things leading up to it and expect a different result, basically. Doing the same thing, expect a different result. Yep.
So what are you most thankful now for?
My wife and my son, most of all. If it wasn't for my wife and son, I don't know if I would been able to do it on my own. I would like to hope that I could, think that I, could, but I don't really know. Because my past record wasn't looking good for coming out of that. I thank them, God as well, most of all. He played a big part in my life, and just my family and friends, people that never gave up on me, which is very few people never gave up on me. Yeah, I mean, just everyone I'm around that surrounds themselves with me today, I thank them for just still talking to me, I guess. Because, I screwed over my family members, my parents, and now my dad's gone. He passed, and it's sometimes thinking about that's hard for me because I, stole from him, and I was never able to give him back what I had stole from him, and that sometimes I think about that, and it sucks. But I really, am glad he got to see this side of me, this person, before he was able to go. Because I don't know if I would, it could have been rough.
Oh yeah, yeah. He saw you end well, so that's the best gift you could give him for sure.
Yeah, for sure.
Well, thanks for sitting down with me.
Yeah, no problem.
Good conversation. Hopefully someone out there can be inspired and learn something from your experience. Is there anything else you'd like to add?
Just for all the addicts out there, just keep on pushing, man. You got to keep on trying. You'll get it. You just got to keep on. You can't give up. Don't give up. Just got to keep on keeping on, basically. Do not give up. And for everybody that's never used drugs, stay away from them because they will ruin your life. For sure.